Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a fantastic rack, both blanks. But do I have a bingo? Surely I do. And I think what I'll do is just whiz through one blank and see if anything comes to mind. This does actually feel a little tricky. Not seen anything yet. Now that's college, which is quite good, both blanks being the same tile. And the C can get doubled. Congeed, even better because no hooks. I don't want to use the blank as an S, too useful for my opponent. Congeed maybe with a J. Okay, so let me try Congeed, and if it comes off I'll try college, or play college. Congeed is good, and not such a great pickup. No scoring tiles, and way too many E's. But I should be able to play through this. A double lane in column 5. Not particularly useful with a blank as the floater, given how many... Sorry, with a vowel as a floater, given how many vowels I have. I have liege on my rack, but I can't see anywhere great for that. It does play underneath the second E of Congeed. Elegize through an S or a Z. Now what about the C? That's a scoring tile and it's within reach of a double word square. Do I have a play which uses it? And I'm not looking for a bingo. Elegic, not good. I would need one more I for Kaylee. Well, that's not looking too promising. I haven't given up on there being a play through the sea, I just haven't seen it so far. I have Ina through an N, but the score is way too low. Only about 10 points. It does obstruct the double lane, however. However, only by creating a new one. So I have Genie through that N. Wow, I thought opponent was bingoing for a moment. He's not. Just turning over a lot of tiles. And he's provided a nice spot for liege for 25 points. Pretty good. I have wearies on my rack. That plays above Congeed. Does it play anywhere else? Well, it doesn't play in column 2. LA does take an A in front. But wearies doesn't play. I don't think wearies has an anagram. I do have quite a few floaters to consider. So, is there anything with this rack plus a D? Not that I can see. The E doesn't look useful. What about the G? Not seeing anything there. And how about the N? Well, that looks like it goes quite well with this rack, but I'm not seeing a bingo. So at the moment, all I've got is wearies, which plays above either E of Congeed. Just looking at these 2-letter sets to see if I've got anything through them. And I can't see anything. So what if Wearies is blocked? Do I have a nice play in column 2? Both my A and E can go in front of Go. And hopefully that will attract my opponent. So I have WAE in that spot. Great, Wearies remains available. Wow, I was just looking to see if Wearies could begin above the O of Congeed. And it nearly can, apart from this, the second E. So I think this is the play. Slightly dangerous in that Wearies takes a T after it, but I think that's better than sticking an S in the middle of column 15. So Wearies for 71. And that is a good pickup. I could well have another bingo here. And if I don't, I've got the M as a scoring tile, and I should be able to leave a decent rack leave. I can't see a 7 with this rack. Gosh, I thought I had Iron Men for a moment, but it's duplicate R, not duplicate N on my rack. So I'm looking for a 7, not seeing one. What about the S? Does that help? Not that I can see. What about the N? Doesn't look particularly useful. My M can go after LA. These double letter sets not particularly useful. And I'm looking at the E and the I, but to no avail. I'm not seeing a bingo through either of those. And opponent plays using the T hook for Wearies. 47 points, good score. Only 2 new floaters, the I not particularly useful, and I can't see anything with the H. Now my norm spot remains available. So I'm playing that, norm for 31. Well, what about playing E norm? I think I'm going to do that because it's 3 more points and it improves the vowel consonant balance. Well, not great. B, V and Y don't go hugely well together. I wonder if I hadn't played that E, if I would have had Vibrate or Brevity. I'm not sure either of those plays. Anyway, E norm 34 points was a decent score. I would have Vibey through, or I do have Vibey through an E, but that doesn't get doubled. I can't see a way of playing off B, V and Y and getting a decent score. Now, opponents played Pen for 26. My B can go in, and V can go in front of Veggio. But what a shame, only my A can go in front of Ped and NE. So the best I could do is BA. 28 points. So what can I do here? My V and Y can go after LA, but I can't see a way of getting that to, of getting rid of 1 more of my high scoring tiles. I'd like to get rid of 2 out of B, V, Y. So I could play Tivy for 25 points, keeping bar. That doesn't feel like it's the best I can do. Do I have anything great through the E? I have Vibrate. Only 24 points, so that's not better than Tivy. I have Brevity, but that doesn't get doubled. Okay, I'm not seeing anything better than Tivy. So Tivy for 25. And I draw well. On an A, through an A, I would have Arabized. Can't see anything through the I or the E. I have Zebra on my rack. Tivy takes an S in front for future reference. Now I do have an A and an E for going in front of PED and NE. So do I have any A RE or ABE words? Okay, opponent's gone there and only 30 points, fortunately. So what can I do here? How can I get value out of my Z? Nothing goes in front of the V, so I don't have a parallel play above Tivy. So I have Zeriba for 40 points and a decent rack leave, and the Z isn't hugely valuable for my opponent. It's not right next to a double word square. Am I missing a better play? A better play would be one, for example, which Ed did, IZE. "13 minutes on my clock." I think I do need to play through the I and the E. I think that's where the value is. So I'm looking to see if I can get my Z on one of these double letter squares. So what about Braze? 54 points, and that may not be a good word, but it scores a lot more than Zeriba, so I am going to try it. Well, let me check it. It's fine. And it does not take an E, so a D rather, at the end, so I'm going with this. Not good. However, I've hit my first really tricky rack with a 120 point lead, so provided my opponent doesn't get a huge score, I've got a bit of a cushion with which to sort this rack out, and I do have an F as a scoring tile. The problem with this rack is that it's going to be very hard to avoid a poor rack lead, which invites an equally problematic rack next go. Now my F can go next to the E of Braze, but I can't see a 5-letter play. The best I'm seeing with this rack is something like Oaf or Fido or Foid, but I'm not seeing anywhere great for any of those. I guess Foid could play in row D, 32 points. The F not particularly dangerous, especially as it's covering the double letter square. Now I do have an F for making flax, so I have Oaf and flax, but I think that's just too dangerous in terms of providing access to column 1. Opponent down to 8 minutes, having spent quite a while over the Hilt's play. Opponent goes where I was going to play Foid. Nothing goes in front of DI. So I'm not seeing anything in row C, which is helpful. Now, do I have a triple word play? Not necessarily using the F. Can't see one. So what about playing Fido? 20 points. Gosh, look at this rack leave. Dreadful. I must be able to do something better than that. And one of the purposes of sticking the F in row A is to provide 2 openings to triple word squares to guarantee me first dibs at least one of them. But I just don't like that rack leave. Ohio would be a good rack leave, but the score's terrible. 11 minutes on my clock. So, what about keeping the F and playing Adoy? 17 points, decent rack leave. The I is providing a spot for the F next turn where I can score. I'm not too bothered about providing floaters because column 1 is quite hot through this H. So I'm just generating new openings on the board to keep the score rolling along. Because if my opponent bingos, it's important that I'm able to come back with a 30 or 40 point play. So, Adoy for 17. Pretty good. Balanced. Scoring tiles. No bingo, however. I have Codify. Can't see anywhere great for that. So, do I have anything through the H? The C goes well with the H. And do I have any CHY words? With a U, I would have Dutchy. Not seeing anything. So, do I have a 5-letter play beginning F? F blank. Sorry, F vowel. All of my vowels go next to D. Wow, nice bingo for my opponent. My spot remains. So I do. This is good. I have fade. Look at that, 61 points, huge score. Opponent got 62 for vanities. I'm getting 61 for fade. Superb. And I still have a 100-point lead. Not a great rack, but I've got the C for going with the H, which is good synergy. I haven't immediately seen a play which goes in that spot. Well, I have ouch, which is good. And I suspect there could well be others. Trochai or Trochii maybe. No, they're not in the right spot. Great, just 18 points for my opponent. Look at the remaining tiles, and in particular, look at the remaining vowels. Only 5 vowels out of 18, and 2 of them are U's. So I think the best my opponent can hope for is a QU play ending in S, and I'm guessing he's got the S or gambling on drawing the S by playing Frib. So I don't think my opponent can bingo, which places a premium on me continuing to score. I've got 9 minutes on my clock, opponent's got 6. I don't have to go out of my way to block the Frib's hook. Although if there was a decent play through the V, that would probably score enough, but I'm not seeing one. So what do I have with the H? I have Uri probably. Only 24 points. I need to hang on to my vowels. Not so much the U, but the trouble with Uri, it plays off 3 vowels, and I'm likely to have 5 or 6 consonants next go, which isn't great. So I could play Titch, or Ouched. Ouched, perhaps slightly safer. Fewer bingos beginning with O. 30 points, that's the sort of score I want to see when I'm not bingoing. And I'm trying to hang on to a lead of the order of 30 or 40 points. I'm really not bothered about the duplicate eye because there's such a vowel shortage and there are no eyes in the bag. So I'm going with this. I draw the Q, and in a way that's good because it means my opponent's not going to have a Q play in row O. And I have an I which helps me get rid of it. 58 points for my opponent. He still trails by 50. There are 2 tiles in the bag. The remaining tiles are fractionally more bingo-y, but I'm not seeing a single bingo there, so I'm not too bothered about that. 2 tiles in the bag, so I am going to be emptying the bag if I play QI and BI, but if I played just Chi here, I would leave 1 tile in the bag. I think I will play just Chi, even though it's 15 fewer points. I am leaving a tile in the bag, and I'm hanging on to a precious vowel. So is there anywhere better for my Q? I'm not saying this is the best play. I find it very hard to weigh up QI versus QI in this spot. I'm going with this. I draw a vowel. And this is quite a balanced rack. No bingo here, close to unipolar. So I have a lead of 67 points. The P is my only scoring tile, so I've got nip and lap. Opponent's just gone there for 27. He's got these 6 tiles. I don't think he's going to score much with those. And he's not going to go out in 1 with them, so I can plan an out in 2, which will be tricky. But I have 7 minutes to work it out. And there's really not much opportunity in the bottom of the board. The best I can do is a 3-letter play down from the S. Can't see anything ending O-R-E. Nothing goes in front of D-I. So I can play Prion, and I'm only putting that down because I think it's going to guarantee me an out in 2. It doesn't provide much for my opponent. Well, a spot for the M, but that's no biggie. And I have L-I. I have L-I. So I've got L-I and B-I. Do I have a second out? Well, not that I'm seeing. Well, I have low and in. I don't think they could both be blocked. But is there something better than Prion? I note if I could retain the N or the R, I would have Sir for 12 points, probably slightly more. 5 minutes on my clock. Not seeing anything. I think this guarantees the win. I'm going with it. So I'm now 56 points behind. Opponent would get 4 on countback. He needs 52 to draw. I don't think that's going to happen with this rack. So where are my best spots? Li and Bi, 8 points. Lie, low and in, 8 points. And those were the only 2 spots I saw. Yeah, I can't see anywhere else that I can go out. Oil for 3. Great, that absolutely guarantees I'm going out. Lin. Just the 18 for my opponent. if I'd played something different to Prion, he may have only been able to score less. So I suspect Prion not optimal, but I am guaranteed to win by playing Prion, and I have Lie for 8 to end the game. And the final score, 378 to my opponent, 430 to me, a winning margin of 52 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. Gosh, opponent's saying he missed a bingo with the Hilts play. We'll come to that in a moment. So this was my fantastic and skillful opening rack. And these are the bingos, and quite a few down there, all scoring the same. And I played Congeed. Opponent plays Calando. And I had this tricky rack, but fortunately Liege slotted in alongside Calando. Opponent's rack. Wow, look at this. 107 points. H8 down from the E of Congeed. Exhalant. Fantastic word, and it's also playable in other spots. My rack, just the solitary bingo, Wearies, playable in the 2 different spots mentioned. And this is the bingo my opponent mentioned, Thielins, through the E of Wearies. An unusual word, but fairly high probability, so I can understand why he would be slightly annoyed with not spotting it. Now, this was a rack I agonised over. It felt like it was close to a bingo. No bingo there, and I played Enorm. And opponent's rack. He doesn't have a bingo. He plays Pen. Variety, interesting. C13. Okay, getting the Y doubled. I like that, keeping just the B. I played Tibby for 25, keeping Bar. Bar is a better rack leave than B, but it's not 9 points better. How many points better? Maybe 5 points better? Anyway, Variety I think would have been slightly better. Wow, opponent has generous H7. Where's that? Down from the G of Congeed. A slightly disguised floater. I'm not sure I gave it much consideration for a bingo. And this rack doesn't look... Well, I guess it is fairly bingo-y, but it is vowel preponderant, and there's the U there. Anyway, opponent doesn't spot it, plays Or. And now I have Braze for 54, but look at this, Diarize also available for the same score, which would have been nice to see. But I think Braze a better play because DI a better rack leave than B. Wow. Okay, my opponent is... he's missed a few bingos in this game, but they haven't all been easy ones, or I don't think any of them have been easy ones to spot. G14 Sunshade down from the S of Weariest, 80 points, so I benefited from him not playing that. He plays Horde, and now I've still got about a bingo's lead. And I play Adoy here. I really didn't like these vowel preponderant rack leaves, although maybe if I had done a check at this stage on the remaining vowels, I would have been less averse to keeping a preponderance of them. But I play Adoy, and opponent has Vanities, and now he's just 40 points behind. But look at this, I have Fade for 61, which is a bingo-y score, but not a bingo. And the vowel shortage is kicking in. And this is where my opponent played Frib. So he played Frib from this rack. He does have an S, and the rack leave of EGNS is quite bingo-y. Yeah, so he is setting up a useful bingo lane. My rack. Wow, look at that. Rotic playable through the H. I didn't play that. I played Ouched, or Ouched for 30. Not a huge amount between those. Opponent's rack, he's got junks for 58, and at this point I am 50 points in front. 2 tiles in the bag. Wow, 36 points. J10. Chi and if. Yeah, I think I should have played that, given that my opponent wasn't going to bingo, even though it does empty the bag. I didn't, I played Chi. Opponent plays new. I'm 40 points ahead, and I'm looking for an out in 2, which I think Prion guarantees. Opponent has mug for, well, he plays it for 18, he could have got 20. Underneath Tivy, so I wasn't giving him a better spot by playing that, it turns out. And I missed the best move. There was 9 points available, J10, lie and if, and I got 8 to 1 point shipped at the end. And that was the end of the game. Fantastic start with both blanks, and I established a bingo lead, but I wasn't able to really extend that lead. I was the beneficiary of my opponent missing a significant number of bingos, but players make mistakes all the time, and by a mistake I just mean a suboptimal move. One of the purposes of showing these videos is to show just how many mistakes I make, and by extension how many mistakes therefore everybody makes when they're playing Scrabble. And that's part of what makes it such an exciting game, because the mistakes you make are not ones which are generally outside of your ability to spot. Almost all the time when they're pointed out to you, you say, oh yes, of course, I see that now. And that's what makes the game such a challenge, because you know you're capable of playing better than you are, and you keep coming back to the board hoping to eliminate or reduce your mistakes. So, great game and another win. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.